The film which you are about to see is an account of the tragedy which befell a group of 5 youths. In particular, Sally Hardesty and her invalid brother Franklin. It is all the more tragic in that they were young, but had they lived very, very long lives, they could not have expected, nor would they have wished to see as much of the mad and macabre as they were to see that day. For them, an idyllic summer afternoon drive became a nightmare. The events of that day were to lead to the discovery of one of the most bizarre crimes in the annals of American history, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Hey guys, welcome to a special edition of Behind the Fiends. No, we're not going to do a podcast episode today. We don't have a guest, any of that. Today, we're going to be doing a reaction to a film that moi is involved with, along with many, many others. And it's a film that is being made by a very good friend of mine, Mr. Steve Merlo. You may have heard of the film, The Sawyer Massacre, the unofficial prequel to the 1974 Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a movie. It's clearly my favorite horror movie. I think I've pretty much beat that point to death over the last, 2 years I've been doing this podcast. And it wasn't from the standpoint that it was ever the goriest film or, you know, had the highest body count or any of those things. The beauty in that movie to me was it was literally a movie that never should have been made. And not because it should have been outlawed because Toby Hooper and them were committing crimes against humanity by making the film. It's when you really sit down and you read about it and the making of it and how everything went down. It never should have seen the light of day, period. And it really did leave a lasting impression, not only on the general public, which back then I actually thought that a lot of this was based on a true story, and to an extent wanted to hang Toby Hooper and Kim Hinkle's head, put their heads on pikes for it. I've always said that it might have been the very first found footage film. I mean, it's not, but it's easy that it's a, easily you could put it in that genre if you tried. Um, it just meant so much to me. And when we look at slasher villains of Freddy and Jason and Michael Myers and Ghostface and different ones, Leatherface always gets lumped into that group as well. And it's fair. He does carry a sharp object and does like to hack people up with said sharp object. But I never really viewed that movie as a quote unquote slasher film. To me, it was more of a psychological mind bleep. Yeah, I'm trying to watch my language YouTube because I know y'all don't like F bombs. But it was very much psychological. Um and it really did make people believe that it was this just all out gore fest when it really wasn't. I mean, like, the only blood we really seen was from Ed Neal, Franklin, maybe a little bits here and there, Sally when they cut her finger. I mean, it was far from ever being a gore fest, but it was just so brutal and just primal. Nobody had ever seen anything like it. Let's go to, what was it? May, actually a year ago this month, May of 2021. I happened to be on the internet and was looking at bloodydisgusting.com, which is where I get most of my horror news for films, games, anything of that nature. Shout out to bloodydisgusting.com. love your all's website. It's very informative, very well done. But I happened to come across this article, and it said Joe Bob Briggs gives a shout out to wait. No, I take that back. The article, it was the Joe Bob Briggs shout out was in it. It was Texas Chainsaw Massacre film to be made in Texas for the first time since the original. And I was like, oh shit, who's doing this? And I opened up the article and I read about this indie filmmaker by the name of Steve Merlo. And watched the trailer that he initially done for the campaign. And then I watched the Joe Bob shout out, and I reached out to Steve and was totally on board to supporting his film. And I even told him, I said, look, man, if you want to, I will shout this film to the moon. Just give me any kind of information that you have, and I will talk about it in every podcast. I will put it in the description of every episode. And that's kind of how mine and Steve's relationship began. Then I think it was like a month later, I had him on as a guest. And then I had Scotty Parkin, Leatherface. And from that, I ended up gaining two of the best friends that this guy's ever had. Steve, to this day, is a guy that I can literally go to whenever I need advice, because a lot of what I do now, he's been doing for a while, whether it's YouTube or any of this stuff. So he's kind of been my Jedi master, so to speak. I've been kind of his Padawan learner. And me and Scotty is this big teddy bear, sweetest, nicest guy, just an all shucks type of person. But don't get it twisted, because when he puts that mask on, he goes full Leatherface. But Scotty's my geek brother. But they just went down to Texas and actually filmed it. They shot the film, I think, in like 9 days. It's pretty fast. And Steve ran into all kinds of problems. If you've joined any of his live streams, I'm sure you've heard about a few of them, from it being catering to transportation, you name it. But I think, in a sense, what he went through made the experience that much more worth it. Simplest of words that I can come up with, worth it. Because in a way, he kind of got to walk the same footsteps of Tobe Hooper and Kim Hinkle and the actors and actresses that were in the original, because they too dealt with many, many obstacles. Steve didn't have to go to the mafia, though, for distribution, thank God. Thank God we got Indiegogo now, so he didn't have to get tied up with the organized crime. But anyway, they just released a teaser trailer. Well, guys, let's bring in this teaser trailer for the Sawyer Massacre. And without any further ado, let's watch this. I have not watched it. Yet. I don't know what goes on in it, so this is going to be a first for me and a first for you. And if any of you all this is not a first, then just enjoy it. You're getting a different perspective, my perspective. So, guys, here we are, the unofficial prequel to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre of 1974, the teaser trailer for Steve Merlo's passion project, the Sawyer Massacre.
The following film is an account of a tragedy that transpired at an isolated property.
Now what you're looking for is in that house right over there.
A seemingly harmless old farmhouse in the desolate rural landscape.
Y'all really want to go in there?
Well, it looks like someone's here. Is there somebody here?
For all who encountered it, an ordinary day became a nightmare.
My boy Scotty.
This particular account of mad and macabre would be known as the Sawyer Massacre.
Steve, you fucking did it, bro. Digging it. Digging it. It has the vibe of the 74. It has a little bit of the graininess to the film, like the 74. Scotty, you're built like a tank, my friend. Got all that Gunnar Hansen going. And to all the other actors and actresses, I can tell your hearts and your souls were into this. I'm digging it. I can't wait. They got the premiere taking place sometime in August. I might have to actually fly out for that. I might have to fly out to Austin for that. So to my boss who normally watches some of my videos, you might need to give me that vacation time because I might need to go be there with my friends to watch this on a big screen. I am blown away, man. I am just that little bit. I'm speechless. You can clearly tell that you made this with love, man. This ain't this 2020 or what was it, 2022 Texas Chainsaw Massacre garbage that we got from Fede Alvarez on Netflix. This ain't that. This is made by somebody who gave a shit. I'm completely down, bro. I guys, go on the Indiegogo right now. Support this film. Buy DVDs, buy Blu-rays, buy VHS if you're behind the times and you still got a VCR. Get perks. I'm redesigning a t-shirt to put back up on there. Go support this film. Help to make indie horror matter again. And I see it coming back. I do. I've been following this community and these wonderful filmmakers for almost 2 years now. And to see the level of dedication and passion that they put into everything they do. That's what horror was at one point. It was when filmmakers didn't need the big studios to put their hands in. They wanted to tell their stories. And though some were campy, corny, and maybe wasn't the greatest, we still talk about them. We still talk about them to this day, don't we? We still remember them. And I think, Steve, we're going to be talking about your film for many years to come. Thank you, Steve. Thank you for having the vision to give us a prequel, a sequel, a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie that is fitting of the title. Well, guys, thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this little reaction. I know, like I said, I warned you before, I'm totally biased. It's my favorite. But I'm going to try to do more of these. I'm going to try to do more reaction videos and more short little videos. Expand the content of my YouTube channel instead of 2-hour interviews that I've been doing. I know that can be a little much on you guys, but I'm going to jump off here and hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day and week. And I'll see you again next time on Behind the Fiends. Ooh, ooh.